So, Prime Minister Mark Carney is in Washington ahead of the next round of trade talks with the U.S. President Donald Trump. And Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre says it's time to negotiate a win for Canada. In a letter shared on X, he wrote, quote, "You promised elbows up, but then caved on dollar-for-dollar counter tariffs, the digital services tax, and more while we're winning nothing in return for Canada." So do we feel like it's been some time? Are Canada's elbows still up?
Right?
I like that.
All right, you know what's very interesting? I'd say the majority of the crowd says yes, and a couple people are still like, they're iffy on it. I think we're not as angry as we were when Trump was talking all that annexation. I say that because we're not naturally an angry people. We'll leave that to our cousins down south. But I'd say it definitely is, and anybody questions it, ask the U.S. Tourism Board if the elbows are still up. We're not going, and they are hemorrhaging. Las Vegas is begging people to come because we were a huge part of their tourism. So I'd say it's definitely that way. I think a lot of stores still have their Canadian, Canadian made. I think a lot of us, when we shop, are still making sure that we go for Canadian. But I would ask Pierre Poilievre, listen, do you think it's fair to ask somebody 6 months into a job like being the Prime Minister, where are all of these things? You know these things take time, and also he's dealing with a president in the United States who is constantly, on a daily basis, changing his mind, changing his policies, doing different things, and everybody, every world leader is just trying to figure out what to do next because every day is something new coming from that president.
He's trying to dance.
Right? He's always changing. So for you to question, what are you doing? What have you done for me lately kind of vibes? I'm like, listen, it's been 6 months, so calm down. And it's exactly what he did when Trudeau was in office. And I think, although I agree that we're in a democratic society and we need to have opposition, you need to call people out on things. Pierre Poilievre, the way that he does it, I question it sometimes just because he started a lot of rhetoric when Trudeau was in office, and I don't want that kind of nonsense coming back into our politics.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah. I mean, not to be petty, but you lost, Pierre.
That part.
Anyway,
that part.
I don't know how many people want to hear from him, but moving on. I also think the reason why we're a little more lukewarm, my elbows are still up, but I'm not they were getting sore for a little while. And so what I think has happened is because we are no longer the actual target, he's not saying 51st state all the time, we have a chance to breathe. It makes us probably feel relieved. But what we're learning, at least what I'm learning with how Prime Minister Carney is moving around the world now, is we also have a lot of other friends. Yeah. So while I'm still supporting Canadian in key ways, just like you said with travel, we are looking at other allies, and I'm making sure that if I'm following my dollar, I'm also supporting our allies. So I'm supporting us and the people who are actually our friends. Now, if all of a sudden President Trump starts saying 51st, 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 I think we're all going to start acting the way we were. We're going to have those elbows back up. But mine are still sharp, maybe a little less sharp. But I think it's because we realize who are our friends and who is not our friend. And I think that's been a relief for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I can understand, though, why some critics of Carney are wondering if his elbows are still up. Like, he ran with that slogan. And now it kind of feels like, to his critics, I think that he's almost doing like a chicken dance. Like, his elbows are up when he promises those retaliatory tariffs, and then they're down when he takes them all away. And, you know, it's been an interesting and very difficult time. Just in August, I think 66,000 Canadians lost their job. Not all to do with the tariffs, but certainly that's a big part of it. Our unemployment rate rose 7.1% in August. That's the second highest amount in the G7 countries. And our economy shrunk by 1.6%. So I can understand some people being like, hey, you promised this. And I can also understand that, you know, he did promise it, and then maybe when he actually met with Trump, things got a little more complicated. You know what I mean? Because he didn't, well, he had his idea of what he was dealing with, but that's difficult. You know, other countries got trade deals. Think about European Union and Japan. They've already worked that out. So Canadians must be like, come on, let's go. Pick them up.
I don't know. I mean, I don't have anything to add to this that is profound, but I think it's complicated, as you pointed out, to be a leader. I think we are only 6 months in. And I think there is an end game here. And I think we're going to see. Let's reserve judgment at least until after this meetings, until we can see what the plan is, if there is a plan. I mean, myself, just to take it home, like, My elbows are like kind of maybe one up, one down. Like I'm a little confused right now. I feel like people aren't as kind to each other. Right after this whole elbows up thing, it felt like everyone was being a little nicer on the road. I feel like people are angry again, and maybe that's to do with the state of the economy.
Yeah.
And I came out like I will not go to the States. I will not book trips there. But I'm at a grocery store, and I don't know, but like you, sometimes I'm just like, what's cheaper? And I'm less inclined to choose, and I'm ashamed to admit that. But I think a lot of Canadians are feeling that way as well. So we're going to see how these meetings go, and then see where our elbows are from there.
It's a hard position to maintain, right?
Yeah. And if you're looking for friendly Canadians, just go to a Blue Jays game. They're very friendly there.
Oh yeah.
The best fans. The best.
Hey, you, come a bit closer. We've got so many more must-see interviews, spicy debates, lifestyle tips, and pop culture moments. So subscribe to our channel by tapping the logo below and don't miss out.